So, could generating fewer leads actually make you more money? Well, I believe that the answer is yes, and so in this video, I'm going to walk you through a counterintuitive marketing strategy that's helped me generate more than $12 million in direct revenue for my clients, and I think you're going to like it because it's actually a lot less work and it makes your business a hell of a lot more fun. Now, to start, we need to talk about the two different types of clients I can almost guarantee that you're attracting into your business right now. So, the first are the dream clients. Right? These are the people who pay in full, who are easy to sell, easy to work with, and who get great results. Right? The second are the nightmare clients. These are the people who are hard to sell, who ask for a 30-year payment plan, and who don't do the fucking work to get the results they say they want. And the thing is, these clients don't just make business less fun, but they actually cost you money. Because you and your team have to spend more time chasing them down, following up, and getting on 5 different calls to close them. And then even once they do close, they ask for special treatment, they take ages to execute, and they ask the same question that you've already answered 100 different times. But more importantly, when you're working with these types of people, it tanks your confidence as a founder. Because if you're anything like me, when your clients aren't getting results, you take it personally, right? And even if they're the ones who aren't putting in the work, you start to question whether you're any good at what you do. And so you end up showing up to your business with less confidence, less energy, and less drive. And laying awake at 2 a.m. wondering if you should just throw the whole business in the trash and fall back on dealing drugs or stripping at the local gay bar. And the thing is, when you're attracting these types of clients into your business, it's actually a sign of a deeper problem. Because it means there's something you're saying in your marketing that is speaking directly to these types of people, which means that your marketing isn't speaking directly to your best clients, right? This is just cause and effect. If you're attracting shitty leads that make you want to jam your nose in a pencil sharpener, this is the effect of something that you are doing upstream in your marketing. And what most business owners don't realize is that the types of customers their marketing attracts is just as important as the number of customers. Right? I mean, just think about your favorite client right now. The person who is the easiest to work with, who paid you the most money, and who got the best results. Now, imagine what it would do for your business if the only thing that changed over the next 12 months was that 100% of your clients were just like them. Right? If you didn't close any more people than you do right now, but everyone that you did close was easy to sell, easy to work with, paid in full, and bought your back-end stuff, chances are changing this one thing alone would probably double your bottom line and save you 15 to 20 hours a week of putting out fires. And that's exactly what I'm going to show you how to do in this video. And it's actually pretty simple. There are only 5 steps to it. So step 1 is to go back through your call recordings or customer surveys and pull the word-for-word transcripts from real conversations you had with real human beings. Right? Not an avatar doc, not a list of quotes from Reddit or some AI-generated persona called Coaching Carl 69. Right? Actual real human beings that were either dream clients or nightmare clients. Because we want to know in their words why they chose you, what they believe, and what they want. So what we're going to do is take the call recordings and plug them into Claude or whatever other tool you use. And then once you're done, we're ready to move to step 2, which is something that I call the desire gap. And for this step, what we want to do is to figure out the difference between what your best clients and worst clients want. And I'm not talking about high-level desires like growing a business or losing weight or growing 3 inches in 3 weeks. I'm talking about the specific outcomes that they want to achieve and how they describe those outcomes in their own words. Right? Because the thing is, 2 clients can say that they want the exact same thing. Right? They can say, oh, I want to lose weight, or I want to grow my business, or I want more views on Instagram. But when you actually listen to how they describe the end goal and why they want it, you'll typically find subtle differences that you're missing in your marketing. And just to give you an example of this, I have a client who helps men avoid divorce. And for years, his marketing was built around the desire, here's how to fix your marriage. And even though he was attracting some amazing clients, his team was wasting hundreds of hours a month on 20-somethings who'd been married for 6 months and didn't have the money to invest, and 60-year-old serial monogamists who weren't willing to consider that maybe they were the reason they'd been divorced 27 times. And so when I actually listened to what his best and worst clients were saying, what we realized was that his best clients didn't actually want to fix their marriage. They wanted to keep their family together. And even though this sounds like a small difference, just think about the type of person that is attracted by these different messages. Right? If someone's trying to keep their family together, they're going to be more committed than someone who's just trying to save a relationship because there's more to lose. The fact that they have a family probably means that they're in their 30s or 40s and therefore they're more likely to have their shit together financially. Right? And because the pain of losing their family is so great, they're going to be more willing to invest the time, the money, and the energy that's required to get the result they want. And when we made this small tweak with his marketing, yes, he immediately got fewer leads booking calls. But the people who were booking were easier to sell, paid in full, and ready to show up and do the work. And so as a result, his business was able to grow despite having fewer customers. And I've seen this same pattern play out in dozens of different niches with dozens of different offers. So what we want to do is we want to study the specific desires that your customers have and the specific problems that they're trying to solve. Because sometimes all it takes to grow your business is to niche down the desire that you talk about one layer deeper. All right, so this brings us on to step 3, and this is where things start to get interesting, right? Because once you know what your clients want, the next gap we want to find is what they believe about getting it. Because two people can want the same thing and have completely different beliefs about what's stopping them from getting it. And typically what you'll find is that your nightmare clients have different problems than your dream clients. Your shitty clients are all convinced that the algorithm is broken, right? Their niche is too competitive. Their genetics don't let them lose weight. They're shadow banned on Grindr. And the thing is, when you're speaking to these external forces or these low-level problems in your marketing, you're going to attract the tire-kicking assholes who don't take responsibility and who don't do the work. Because even though they have the same desire, they believe completely different things about getting it, right? They're looking for a magic pill or someone to hold their hand and do the work for them. But your dream clients will believe something different, right? Maybe they believe that the problem is that they haven't dialed in their messaging, or they aren't managing their time effectively, or they're making emotional decisions instead of data-driven ones. These people have a different operating basis. Even if they want the same results, they're focused on solving different problems to get it. And when you can get clear on these gaps, and you know word for word what your best customers want versus what your nightmare customers want, and what they believe about their problems and what they believe about the solutions, then you can speak directly to your dream clients and actively repel everyone else. Which brings us on to step 4. And the big mistake that I see business owners making at this point is that they take everything they just pulled from steps 1 to 3 and immediately update every sales page, every headline, and every VSL. Right? And because they change everything all at once, they have no idea what's working and what isn't. And so what typically happens is they change too much too quickly, the results get worse, and then they just go back to doing business the way they did before because it didn't work. Right? But the thing is, applying this strategy still takes time. And even when you know what your best customers want and believe word for word, you still have to figure out the best way to get your message across and actually shift their beliefs. So instead of just trying to change everything overnight, what we want to do is roll out strategic split tests from the top of the funnel to the bottom of the funnel. And so at the top, you want to test out the topics that you're focused on in your content. You want to test different lead magnets, different YouTube videos, different hooks in your reels, and see what happens when you speak to more targeted problems or pain points or desires. You want to test different filters in your cold traffic ads and use qualifiers like, hey, this only works if you have $5K to spend on your business, or this is only for people who are already training 3 days a week. Right? We want to run all of these small tests that are low cost, easy to change, and easy to iterate on until we get results. Then once the top of the funnel is bringing more qualified people into your world, we move to the middle of the funnel. This is where you're going to test things like your headline, your VSL script, or the emails that you send to your new leads. It's where you start to add a little bit more friction to the call booking process, right? You include more questions to disqualify different prospects. And then finally, once you've found the winning angles and messages, we want to start testing at the bottom of the funnel. And this is where you're testing your sales call process and your actual offer, right? It's where you adjust the price and the features and the process based on feedback that you're getting from all of these new dream customers. And if you do this correctly, what will end up happening is that you'll get to a point where you understand your dream customers so well and speak to their pains so clearly that the sales calls basically become optional, right? People will just start coming to you asking for a payment link because your marketing is so direct and so specific to their experience that they think you're the only person they can trust to buy. But don't celebrate just yet, because if you miss the next step, this can all come crashing down. And this brings us on to step 5, which is to update your GPS and create quarterly feedback loops where you look at what your customers are saying and figure out what are the new objections they have, what are the new beliefs that are stopping them from buying, what other competitors have entered the market, and then adjust your marketing based on that feedback. Because the thing is, markets aren't static, right? There are new technologies, new competitors, and new norms that are happening almost every single day, which means that what's working right now won't work forever, right? The same offer that printed money 2 years ago can bleed money today. And just as an example, a few years ago, I built a side business selling low-ticket digital products to help guys recover faster after breakups. And we quickly grew it to almost 7 figures in revenue and more than 11,000 customers. And eventually I shut it down for personal reasons. But when I decided to come back to it, I launched these same creatives, the same funnel, and the same message that I'd used 2 years earlier that was printing money, and it completely bombed. I ended up losing tens of thousands of dollars on ads because I assumed that the offer would work forever. Right? I didn't update my GPS, and it cost me a fuckload of money. And so practically what this step looks like is that once a quarter, you want to sit down and study what you're hearing from your customers. What new technology or competitors has changed how they relate to your offer, right? What new beliefs or objections do they have that are stopping them from buying? What do they expect now that they didn't before? Sometimes nothing will change and you can just keep going about your business as usual. But other times you'll start to notice specific patterns and shifts that are happening. And as a result, you can get ahead of them and adjust your business accordingly instead of getting blindsided by a change in the market and going into the red for months. Now, if you actually apply everything from this video, it is almost mathematically impossible that you won't scale your business and attract more dream clients to your offer. But the problem with everything that I just showed you is that it only works when your dream clients actually see your message. So watch this video next, where I'll show you how to create your own algorithm and guarantee that your best content gets in front of your hottest prospects every single day, whether you're posting or not.